1. Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to Enter the Apex. I'm Garrett Weinzierl here on this fine Monday morning, as always, with Kyle Ferguson. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right, man.
I'm just going to kick things up and breaking the fourth wall. If you only listen to this show, Kyle and I do a lot of other podcasts. One of them we do together on Thursdays, and I was traveling last week and wasn't on it, so it feels like a lifetime since I've talked to you.
Yeah. Well, you were in my old haunt, my grow-up state, New Mexico.
Yeah, they have really good tacos. I had tacos every day except for one that I was there.
Sure.
It was amazing.
They do it right. They do it. Did you get yourself a wet burrito? Or
I did not get myself a wet burrito because when you have that many tacos in rapid succession, your stomach is already challenged. So
Yeah.
wet burrito was maybe not it. But you know what else was challenged as a result of my travels? My skills in this game.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, mine too, but for different reasons. We had ourselves a bit of an interesting session the last time we played, and I took a little break from the game after that.
Oh?
Well, yes. Remember the fine aimbot player, my very first experience with a full-blown, captured on stream, watched the whole thing, aimbot.
Yeah. It really goes to say like how much changing your environment can throw things out of whack. That feels like a lifetime ago. Also, came back. I landed a couple days ago. I've been playing Apex over the weekend, getting back into the swing of things. And while I myself feel like I am terrible at this game again after just taking like 4 days off,
Yeah.
it seems like the cheaters are gone. I didn't run into any egregious cheaters over the last, let's see, two nights playing quite a bit of Apex.
Yeah, no, I had some great times as well. Yesterday I was playing. Thank you to Twammy and McCowan for hosting my nubbery. We won 2 games together, which is a ton for me in a session, and I had an awesome time. But, damage was like, 183 at the end of those. I was always being picked up. But, man, that aimbot business took me for a trip. It was shockingly low effort. That's what made it so egregious, so insulting, was how perhaps unfun it seemed. And at the same time, I got a great sense of this isn't so bad for people who are great at this game, because aimbots do not lead the target for you. There is arc, there is bullet travel time, all these things. And if you are better and in motion, aimbots can only do so much.
Right. It's that split second that you decide to stand still to try and line up a shot that you're just dead.
And the rock was the creepy part. I have a clip of it too. You can find it on my Twitch. It's at like 6 minutes, and the camera, it's like sticky. The aim kind of locks on to heads that don't exist yet. And in particular, there's this rock, and like, boop, like, ooh, there's something there, and just follows their head as they exit around this rock.
God, I love that you haven't played these sorts of games and had these types of experiences before, because it's really fun to hear someone's like first reaction to aimbots, because I played quite a bit of PUBG and saw a lot of this already.
It's crazy. It's unabashed. How are you not embarrassed by this play is the weirdest part about it, because it's just lazy.
Yeah,
they're walking everywhere. They're standing right where they damn want to on top of some rock, using an R99 across the valley into the river and just blowing people away with a wingman with no scope. It is just strange.
Yeah, it is the pit, sir. But yeah, I left very salty, but it didn't affect me as negatively as I think like the previous week where we just had a bad session.
Sure.
But it's certainly something that really gets to me and seems like it's a lot better, at least since I got back. I mean, I've played quite a bit of games since getting back home Saturday afternoon. So feels a lot better, and it seems like because of a new patch and a round of bans. So let's get in and talk about all of the Apex Legends news that has happened since our last episode. We got a new patch, Kyle. Patch 1.1 dropped just a few days ago, late last week. And it brought with it a highly requested feature that I am just stoked about. So again, traveling, I was working, shooting some footage at a conference out in New Mexico. Had zero time to read patch notes. So I come home, I'm playing like with random drop players, and game ends and it goes, last squad, would you like to invite, and has player names. And I'm like, what? When did this get added? This is great. So yeah, last squad invites came in with patch 1.1. If you're playing without a full squad of 3, Respawn has added the ability to party up with the last squad you played with. Basically, after the match, you're going to see buttons in the lobby that display the last 1 or 2 people that you played with, and you can invite them to your squad. On top of all of this, you can opt out of this. If you don't want to receive invites from random players, you can turn this feature off.
They've also added a mute all button. So if you are the avoiding type, just want to get in a quick game, not make any friends, there are tools for that as well.
Oh yeah, God bless. Have you used the last squad invite feature at all?
I haven't, honestly. It's kind of an odd confusion coincidence, but our last episode was titled Get Good Dad. And because of that, our Discord has been alight with casual players and parents showing up and being like, hey, first of all, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't actually teach me, a dad, how to get good. But also, hey, I'm a dad and I have limited time to play. Who wants to party up? So I have had no problems finding awesome people to play with this week.
Oh, I came back and was catching up on the AMove Discord, which you can join, by the way, to go into bit.ly/AMOVE, AMove Discord. And you can join. It's open. Get in there and make some Apex friends. But yeah, I got back and I was catching up on my salty heart, man, was just warming up, reading all this advice sharing and friend making. I love it. I'm glad that people are helping each other get good. So I'm also glad that it extended to you as well, Kyle.
Yeah, but there have been weeks where this feature would be welcome. I have found, serious players that, I'd like to have another go with. Well done.
Yeah, it's great. So get in there, make some friends. I did take advantage of it just once, and then the rest of the weekend I was playing with friends. But it works great. I really like it. I've had a lot of really good experiences with random players in the past, and I'm really glad that this feature has been added to the game. That said, I also had a really, really bad session of games. I was playing with our shared friend McCown last night, just as a 2-stack, and it was just... I've been using the term doorknob because I'm trying to cuss less. It's just doorknob after doorknob.
Doorknob?
Solo dropping, disconnecting as soon as they get knocked. Let's see, what else? Just not paying any attention at all. Like, if they did drop with us, they're just kind of in a corner changing out scopes.
I can assume why Garrett would cuss. I just don't understand why you'd call them a doorknob.
I don't know. I was just trying to like a rock wasn't descriptive enough. I'm just thinking of an inanimate object that doesn't do much.
Oh.
I can't call them a coffee maker. That helps me, Kyle.
Okay. I see what you mean. I get ya. It protects. Doorknobs protect, man. They have locks on them.
I mean, that's a specific kind of doorknob.
True.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm just trying to come up with words that I find amusing to say in place of cuss words.
I like it.
That's a personal strategy I would like to put out there to any aspiring streamers out there that are trying to put less profanity out into the world. But whatever. Just mini story time. Just had a lot of really bad experiences with random players. But I feel like when I play by myself, I more often than not have a good experience.
There's a tone that 2 people set that the third person doesn't really grab onto. I feel like when there's everybody sort of watching each other in these 3 solos, things get a lot more sneaky, which I really like. I like it's Sam Fisher time, and it's a whole different style of gameplay that I do enjoy. Honestly, my favorite right now is just breaking position. That's my favorite activity. Get in a fight. Oh, not a good angle, and running around somewhere ridiculous. By the time you even make it around that big old cliffside and back into the Cascades, they've now fought another party. So now you're the third party instead of the getting third partied. Yeah, I dig that. When I rando, I tend to lately have just been playing Octane and using my jump pad to put myself at a completely different angle from what the other 2 players are fighting at, and giving us a leg up that way. Which has been having a lot of fun doing that. But
There were some other quality of life improvements in the 1.1 patch before we get too deep into personal adjustments in the game. They have added to the report player button. There's now an option for selecting cheat or other. So if you want to be reporting for reasons other than cheating, that's something you can do. They've also added very specific messages that appear on PC for crashes if it's specifically due to running out of memory or CPU errors, and it will explain if it was overclocking or overheating. So that's
got to
good.
be sane.
I just assumed they were getting a lot of reports for these two reasons. They're like, all right, we're gonna let you know that it's on your end, that you should probably address your CPU or your memory. I'm just assuming that this is all to save themselves sometimes when addressing these reported issues. They said that they added better collision to the turrets on supply ships. I was not aware this was an issue, but good to know.
Did you, or have you experienced, speaking of collisions, the strategy where you hit a wall or land on the rock in order to jump or fall faster?
Yes. I've been doing that this weekend with our friend Twamey.
So that's officially everywhere, it seems.
I don't know about everywhere, but yeah, we were trying to hit strategic rocks that would allow us to fall into Market's roof faster than if we were just pointing down at it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what their plan with that is.
Yeah.
Because you have rockets, right? You're falling, but you're falling slower with rockets pointing you downwards. It's a little odd.
It's very odd. I'm with you. It seems like it is unintuitive, which I'm all for, raising the skill a bit, but it also just doesn't make a lot of sense. I like my games to just make sense. And you're right. Yeah. If I'm pointing down with rockets on my butt, I should be going faster than if I just fell off a mountain.
It's weird. I get the mechanics of it, though. What do? You reduce fall speed? And now we're kind of halo floating when we fall? Or
please don't do that. I just maybe speed up the rockets a bit? Or at least make it the same?
Do you have an issue with everyone dropping now faster? What's the issue there? Gameplay decisions.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference in speed is from pointing as straight down as you possibly can during the drop phase versus just falling. But I can't imagine it's a massive difference, so maybe they just increase the drop speed ever so slightly just to make it the same as falling.
I mean, I'd be all for let me turn it off. Just hit a button, jets go off, I'm done moving, I'm right over my hoop that I'm aiming at Market. I want to fall right through the window.
That would be interesting. I feel like there's maybe a counter argument for the whole mechanic of Jumpmaster is unique and works pretty well and keeps the group together. And if you were to just turn it off, it gives the Jumpmaster no control now over where his buddies end up.
Well, maybe the Jumpmaster's in charge and you all turn off together. I guess the thing that would get weird immediately there would be that if you turned it off early, your camera would fly inside yourself faster, and there'd be an advantage there in a hot drop of getting control of yourself. I mean, how many times have we, particularly, I feel like it always happens on artillery. Maybe it's because the boxes are on the walls. No, wait. Array? The one with the satellite dish.
That's Array.
Yes.
Whoa, wait, no. That's Relay.
Relay, yes.
Relay has the satellite dish.
That's the place. I don't know why. Like Skulltown, there's all these little cubbies and windows for me to jump through. I feel okay in the first couple seconds. But that big open area, airbase as well, when the camera's like, let me just casually fly in your back here, I'm just like, get in there already. I need to pick up an item.
Yeah, fair. Overall, yeah, I think the speed at which that happens is pretty stressful. But Buttress in the chat room says, what if you could toggle straight vertical drop speed, but keep that? I'm assuming he didn't say this, but I'm assuming, but keep your drop camera, like your third-person camera. Because the issue, if you're still trying to control as Jumpmaster, but you're in first-person camera, you can't see your friends. You don't know if you're about to shave them off on a rock or a cliff.
Totally.
So, we'll see. It sounds like more improvements are incoming. They also said that there were stability fixes on all platforms. They didn't really get into specifics there. There were multiple bug fixes mentioned. The one that looked to be the greatest improvement is that they fixed the bug on consoles where sometimes attempting to use a keyboard to chat would cause a fatal script error.
There's also an issue this weekend where if somebody invited you to party and you responded to them, you would leave your current party and join theirs, even if you were just saying, I'm
hi.
busy.
Like, oh, hi, thanks, sorry, busy. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I hope they fix that.
It's gone. Yeah. That's been fixed up.
Yeah. And then finally, they made it so that Octane's jump pad will no longer affect players that are currently using the Into the Void ability. So no jump padding while you're in the void.
You're in the void, right? Except for the void has ground. So it's always been an issue with Kitty, right? That was her name in X-Men.
No idea.
Any character that can walk through walls, I'm always just worried, why don't they fall through the floor?
You're blowing my mind. I've never thought of that, but...
It'd be a horror. You'd be trapped in the center of the earth. If you're affected by gravity, that is.
Yeah, maybe...
Infinitely.
I don't know. I've never understood why Spider-Man can stick to walls with his feet when he's wearing shoes.
That's a good point. Yeah, because he's supposed to have like little hooks, right? According to Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah. You get that the sticky close-up, so...
Yeah, so he has those on his feet, but his feet need to be less flat. I agree. There need to be little pads. There needs to be little toe
But
shapes.
Wraith can't pass through walls. She's
that's
still
true.
adhering to the physical limitations of everything around her.
Right. So it's a rather casual void.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I always... When I first saw Wraith, I was like, oh, cool, they're bringing in some of, like, the time mechanics of Titanfall 2's campaign, which is one of the coolest things ever. Seriously, folks, if you haven't played Titanfall 2's campaign, what are you doing with your life? It's amazing. But, obviously, there's only so much they can do with something like that. I'm frankly surprised they should just get a straight-up tracer rewind. But... yeah, you gotta have those limitations. Walking through walls, man, that'd be so busted in this game.
Yeah, it'd be pretty intense.
Yeah, so it's cool. Good change, in my opinion. This appears to have already been fixed, but if you were playing last week when 1.1 was deployed, there was a rather terrifying bug that occurred in which players were losing their progress in their game. They were logging in and seeing essentially a fresh account, which... I would freak out.
It's a little bit of work to level this account up.
Yeah. But they appear to have fixed it. Community manager Jay Fresh posted a hotfix rundown on the Apex Legends subreddit shortly after the deployment of this patch, saying that essentially explained what happened and then what they did to fix it. And essentially what happened is that when the 1.1 update went live, players were unintentionally moved to the wrong servers. And those servers didn't have those players' persistence and caused the player accounts to appear reset and have no progression. What Respawn ended up doing was shutting down the live servers, and then they removed the players that ended up on those wrong servers. The affected players' progress up until this update, however, was still intact. So Respawn rolled up the correct servers with the affected players' saved progress, and it appears this was successful and all is well now.
Awesome.
So I'm very glad about that, because again, I get home, get off the plane, catching up on the Discord, and I'm like, oh, Kyle's saying that players' progresses are being reset. I hope I'm okay.
I was warning everybody, don't log in until we hear otherwise. But I was worried more in a kind of Blizzard sort of way that this was going to have to be manually done. And then you'd be stuck all weekend sitting there being like, can you please update my account? I just want to play. And they have to get to you.
I think it's fair. I would be concerned as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems like this was successful. So
altogether, a great patch. I have been having less issues. The heavy run is in less games. It still happens from time to time, but I like all this. Good momentum.
The laggy beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one over the weekend, which is a marked improvement. I usually, if I were to play, 2-3 hour sessions, Saturday and Sunday, I would probably have 4 or 5 laggy games.
Yeah.
Whereas over the course of the weekend, I only had one instance of a really laggy beginning. And it seemed to clear up faster than it did before, but this is all anecdotal. It does seem to just be better overall. And again, as I already mentioned, the big thing for me is that I haven't noticed any egregious hacking, which makes me really, really freaking happy. So the 1.1 patch notes did mention, quote, additional behind-the-scenes improvements for squashing cheaters. Again, didn't get into specifics. Totally understand that. They don't want to tell cheaters what they're doing so that they can't get around it. And it would also appear that another massive wave of bans have rolled out. If you are unaware, fine listeners of this program, there is an Apex Legends cheat forum where terrible people get together to talk about cheating in this game, and users of that forum are currently voicing their frustration with no longer being able to play Apex Legends. And Hero of the Week, Reddit user Terrari, has captured their tears for us to enjoy, Kyle.
It's a beautiful bit of justice to read through these. I only wish they let us know more Respawn as a company, so the justice would be that much more juicy. But I absolutely understand their position, and perhaps my favorite part is people lamenting on a free-to-play game the $27 to $40 they've spent in order to purchase this cheating program, these aimbots for themselves.
Yeah. I loved it. So if you missed Terrari's post, it was a screen cap of like 4 comments in the cheat forum. One cheating sack posted, quote, I have been banned, unfortunately. I'm reading exactly as written. I don't know how they did it. I don't use the cheat for over 3 or 4 days. It was just a waste of money. I blame myself for this, to where I can only assume someone who thinks a Mozambique is tier S confirmed that more hardware bans were going out, saying, quote, everyone got banned, mate, but who care? It's free game. We make new account, but we need Apex Legends Chams works again. Chams being the cheat program that they use. And I don't know. Then user I'm calling can't shoot for shit replied, I can't play with new account. My new account get banned after created and play one game. To which a steaming pile of no skill replied, I am HWID banned, hardware ID banned. Can anyone help and let me know what I can do to bypass this so I can play normal? Every time I create new account, it gets banned. To which I say, suck it, cheaters!
Yeah, that's good stuff. I'll go straight. Honestly, I'm going to be good this time, please.
Honestly, I kind of want these people to get back into the game so they can get murdered a billion times because they're clearly terrible and have learned nothing.
Yeah, that's true. If we need to pad out the lower tier player base, they're ready to go.
I think Respawn, if you're listening, here's what you do. You know who these players are because your hardware ID banned them. And if you are confident in your ability now to tell when these cheat programs are being run, and you can just block them again. So if you know these players are trying to get in, they're not running a cheat program, let them in. And Kyle, you know how a lot of games, sadly Apex doesn't have one yet, but you know how a lot of games have what we call a leavers queue?
Yeah.
Where if you've left a game too many times, they put you into a queue with only other players who have left the game, which takes A, longer to find a game, and B, makes it a lot more likely you're going to be on a team of people who will also leave the game and ruin your game for you. I think Apex should take these players, eventually remove their ban, and only put them into games with players who have some of the highest rated performances. Just put them into a game with your Shrouds, with your Choco Tacos of the world, and just let them get murdered over and over again.
I like it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see. That's the eventual justice I would like to see dispensed. And then ban them again, like after 4 days.
Yeah, exactly.
After 4 days of suffering, then perma-ban them again.
Right, make that their one game, right? They sit around forever waiting for verified amazing people to own them. And then they're kicked.
After 40 minutes, I got a game, and then Shroud showed up.
Yep. Perfect.
Yep. That would be wonderful. Please make it happen, Zip. please make it happen. So, there are more fixes coming. They sadly did not make it into this patch, though. Respawn developer going by the name of Glutinous Rice Ball posted on the Apex Legends subreddit, basically responding to concerns over how hard it is to detach from a zipline by saying, quote, "Good news, this is fixed locally. Bad news, it didn't make it in the next patch. It will be in the patch after that, though." A follow-up comment asked if there was any update on body blocking when coming out of the dropship, and Riceball followed up by saying, quote-unquote, "Same deal." And then he later clarified that there would be no collision during the drop phases whatsoever. So from the dropship all the way to the ground, no collision.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had the worst one yet last night. I was stuck up there forever.
Yeah, it can be pretty bad. It feels like it's worse coming from artillery side, but maybe people really just like artillery.
It seems completely anecdotal to me.
Totally. No, that's made the heck up.
Because mine was over array last night, and just sat there looking at 20 other butts stuck in the air.
Yeah. Colorful butts, of course.
Oh, very colorful butts. Some are moving with like a cheesy GIF animation. I really hate those skins still. Respawn, they're lame. Why are they so rare? But yeah. Also, I want to thank the Easter Bunny on the A-Move Discord for bringing this to my attention while I was traveling. I did not see these comments on the subreddit as I was not reading it. So thank you for posting that.
They're important stuff. And they're a show of the lingering issues, which aren't horribly awful. They're really good patch. Really pleased.
Yeah, 1.1. I mean, this is a good patch. It's really subtle, right? But the addition of being able to group with someone that you enjoyed playing with in a random game, it's such a nice addition. I think it's something we requested on the first damn episodes of the show, because we're like, hey, Overwatch has it and it works really well in there. That's something that feels like it's kind of a no-brainer for a game like this. And it didn't take that long for them to implement it. And other than that, some quality of life things. And again, while my experience is clearly anecdotal and not a huge sample size, but I haven't run into that many cheaters. When last week I was running into cheaters every single day I played this game.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy. I would like to hear from more folks, especially if you are running into cheaters. Let me know, and let me know how many games and how frequently you play. I'd like to, even though it is an anecdotal assessment of the game, I still like to have as much information as I can get. So write in amovetv@gmail.com or tweet at us at @enterapex. But yeah, early drop collision is probably my biggest complaint with this game, outside of like no reconnect feature. Because when I'm playing with my buddies and there's a weird hiccup, like, just let them get back in the game, make them stand still, let people get free kills on them, whatever. Give us a chance, Kyle.
I feel like I'm being experimented on, though. Like the R guns, which to me are all yellow. That's pure coincidence of the skins I have. But the R guns mysteriously disappeared this weekend.
I did have an issue finding those. You know what my tinfoil hat theory is right now?
Yeah.
That they upped the amount of shield cells and significantly decreased the amount of shield batteries. Saturday, Sunday, I could not find shield batteries.
That's interesting.
Again, probably purely anecdotal, because one game I found like 3 Phoenix kits, so I don't know what's going on. But all night, last night and the night before, maybe found like 5 shield batteries total.
No, I feel you, because we had the same thing. Everyone had 2 Phoenix kits there, and syringes were our ammo, as it were. We just couldn't find any way to top off those last little bits.
Yeah, I started playing a lot of Lifeline over the weekend just because I was like, well, all I can find are syringes and shield cells, so I'm going to spend a lot of time using items, so I'm just going to go back to Lifeline, so it takes a lot less time to use those items.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They should be experimenting on us. They got, balance to do and stuff to work on and new characters to make and Octane to see if he's, efficient or not.
Yeah. I will say the gun stuff, it feels very much just like a luck thing, because there were some games where I was just tripping over R301s and other games where I never saw one. It's probably my favorite gun at the moment. I'm just the most consistent with it. And yeah, it just seemed weird. And then it's like, man, I can't find anyone. I wonder if they adjusted the drop rate or something. In the next game, it's like, oh, there's 4 of them in this room. Cool.
Well, that is a pretty big conversation right now, particularly among, the big streamers who are playing this game nonstop. Can we have a dynamic system for the circle? Can it acknowledge the amount of players left and advance a couple of stages?
Yeah, I find this fascinating because it's not something that other BRs have. So why Apex Legends specifically? I've seen the Dr. Disrespect clip where he's talking about it, and he frames it very much in that so often you find yourself in the final fight of the game without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with. There's a lot of times in Apex where the circle is still pretty big and there's only 1 or 2 squads left. You're looking at a 2 to 3 squad game with a still rather sizable circle and no idea where they are because everyone's just being quiet because they don't want to get third teamed. So I understand that. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess I'd like to see it because now that I've really gotten kind of map awareness on autopilot in this game, it's been a long time since I feel I have gotten screwed by the zone. Where really, unless I get into a fight and I am tragically far from the next zone, it's not really a risk. It's pretty easy to move across this map. It's pretty easy, even if you are as far as you possibly can be from the zone, to survive it, even if you fall behind and get somewhere safe and heal up and continue your game. Whereas I've had so many games of PUBG where it's been terrifying and feeling like the zone was just going to murder me, and has. And also, pretty frequently in that game, it feels like the zone pushes me into a place I shouldn't be, into a fight, into an unadvantageous position, and it feels very seldom that happens in Apex Legends.
Yeah, it would be interesting, and if it kept maybe the current damage of that level. So let's say drop happens, 3 parties left. A bit of an extreme, but bam, there's the 2 guys who went far and then the one who won the big hot zone drop. What if it just advanced to the 3-party size circle in that case, but kept its damage at tier 1?
Well, I think the damage would still need to go up because otherwise you just stand in it and it's kind of irrelevant.
So then you're not pressuring the game to advance. You're suggesting that players would actually hide in the outside oranges.
Right, dude. How many times have we spent like 3 minutes looting in the first zone? Like inside the I think they call it the storm. It's really negligible. So the damage plus the size, I believe, are important.
Well, and the fact that you can be, picked up if you go down. If you're damaged by it, you come back with some health to keep running with it. And that ally who got you up will probably drop you some sort of healing to get you through the end.
Right, exactly. So I think if we're going to do this, you also need to look at the damage that it's doing. I think you need to make the damage as dynamic as you are making the size. Obviously, these are all things they can tweak, right? I think until they find kind of a happy medium. And I don't know. I kind of want to experiment with throwing more players in at a certain point.
Right, that's another edge to it as well. Do you end up in a similar situation where the ammo is so limited that hot drop is just a bigger fist fight and didn't actually fill out the game? Is our idea here with these dynamic circles going to do the exact same thing? It's not exactly a more interesting game. We're just finishing it out faster.
Well, I think if you're going to add more players, you're going to have to up the loot. Which, on paper, not being a game designer, sounds good in my head, because right now there's still times where you go for like a safe drop and you can't find jack. Like, I don't even want good guns, but it would be nice for the whole team to have a gun, have some bullets, even if they're not great, so that you can safe drop and then push in and actually take a fight. Again, anecdotal, not always the case, but that's why I'm just saying, on paper, if we upped the amount of players and therefore had to also up the amount of loot on the ground, it'd be interesting. I at least want to entertain the idea.
Right. I don't want to make this World of Warcraft where you walk for 5 minutes. Now you've received a token and you can buy whatever purple you want. Like it could get really stupid really fast in our armchair game designing world. I do see a bit of an issue with Lifeline in that way, because when I do drop really far out and I haven't seen anybody for, 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, I wish I was Lifeline. Not because I faster healing, not because I have a bot, just merely I want to get some decent loot, and I would have a supply by now.
Yeah, if you're playing a Lord of the Rings walk game, Lifeline is very helpful.
And I'd be curious to see who else could fill that role. What if there was a hero that your heroic was, you open your inventory and click it and you upgrade its rarity?
I don't know about that. Although
all ideas and options, and the game's so fresh and new, and they're moving so fast that it's fun that we can have these conversations. This game is not shelved, and we're not being wishy. Oh, if only Respawn would update their game and come up with new things. No, they're on the edge of coming up with new things.
Yeah, how would that work? You think it's like a legend-specific ability? Like, what, it was a scrapper?
Yeah.
Like they collect something from kills or items, and they can upgrade items?
No, I was saying like you were sitting there and you're building a bar like you do on all the heroic abilities, the champion abilities, and you maybe hit I, open your inventory, say I've got a blue scope, and you click it and boing, and it turns into a purple scope.
Okay, I'm gonna push back there. I think the scope is scopes or hop-ups would be the worst example because they're not static; they're very unique, right? But
sure, because you wouldn't be able to choose between the 3 or the 2, 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So stocks, magazines, barrels, as well as armor and drop shields. Those are all things that are kind of static, and they just get percentage or hit points better.
Right. The armor would be the one I'd probably use it on the most, because I'm the one guy with a white T-shirt left on.
Yes, that would be interesting. And then I think you'd probably have to cap it at you can't go past purple, right? Like you can't go up into yellow, or what I've been calling legendary, because that's what I think of as World of Warcraft coloring schemes. But it's okay. Maybe there's something there. I mean, if it's balanced, because you're already sort of doing that with Lifeline, and the thing in there is though you do have that randomness of you're not sure you're going to get armor from the drop, right? I mean, it's ubiquitous now. The drop comes down from Lifeline. You open it up. You look on the right side, because it's always where the good thing spawns. And you go, it's a drop shield. Like everyone just moans together. It's ubiquitous. We have all agreed that a Lifeline drop with a drop shield is a shitty drop.
It's also more dynamic because there's a chance it gives away your position, hollers to the world, you get grenaded. Maybe we'll balance it Lifeline style. You have to fire in the air randomly for 5 seconds straight in order to engage this ability, right? It's going to get ridiculous the more we try to armchair design it. But
okay, but I mean, maybe it's too Lifeline similar, but maybe the next medic hero has that upgrade feature, and it randomly upgrades either your drop shield, your helmet, or your shield to one thing higher than it currently is.
Yeah,
but you can't control it, and sometimes it'll be a drop shield, and everyone will in unison go, lame. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't hate it as much as I thought I did when you first brought it up. I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that, but you're more or less doing that with drops from Lifeline. So
yeah,
here's your birthday present.
Right, it's troll free. Like there's the ammo scrapper hero that can turn any item into ammo. Ooh, but also, oh no, as he runs out in front of you and takes all the guns you're looking for and turns them into ammo.
Yeah. Anyways, while we're speaking about Lifeline, there is apparently a new exploit made the light of day, and I haven't been able to find anything about it being removed from the game yet, so I apologize if I missed a post somewhere, but drone healing while moving is the hot new exploit that made headlines while I was traveling. Essentially, you put out a Lifeline drone in the path of an open door, let it attach to you, then close the door, which causes the drone to disappear, but you are still receiving its healing effects for its full duration, and you can now move wherever you would like, however fast you would like to move in that direction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which certainly seems like an unintended exploit.
Right. honestly, probably more work than it's worth to set up and be like, okay, you stand here. What are we doing? What's going on, Lifeline? Oh no. So you get on the other side of this door. I'm gonna close the door so you can have heals. It's a little baby heal. Like this is not your granddad's MOBA heal. This is not your World of Warcraft tank heal. There are so many times as Lifeline I've been like, all right, firefight, drone, excellent, step out. Yeah, whoa, I'm dead.
I think it's definitely worth it for selfish applications. If you are the Lifeline, you're in full control of it. You can just quickly drop it in a doorway, attach it to you, close the door, and then move on. That's very worth it. It is a fast heal, especially in the world of Octane, where we're thinking about his passive heal.
Sure.
Lifeline's heal is bananas by comparison. And especially if you can just run as fast as you want and play a game like normal, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. Is that from Dodgeball? Is that the quote I'm trying to do? You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you can dodge a Gibraltar, you can dodge a ball.
Correct. Right. Yes. As long as they don't take away my loot and scoot, which is honestly one of my favorite activities when you've got no health, your friend drops you the drone, but you still want to keep looting. So you crouch down and you kind of push it along as you're going through all the various boxes.
Yeah. And I think that's fine because there's collision with it. You have to be moving pretty damn slow. You really have to babysit this thing to push it around. I like that because to me, it's another thing like, you know, if there's cover where they could be moving, they could be doing the crouch push. It's to me, that's like listening for, are they using shield cells? Are they using a Phoenix kit? They've disappeared. I know they didn't drop. What are they doing? So I like that kind of thing because it's already in with all of these other forms of healing that we're keeping an eye out for, trying to decide whether it is correct to push or not.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're just getting Invisi-healed as fast as they want, that I think that's an issue.
Right. And as we've seen with the cheaters in this game, any exploit is going to be exploited. So we're all aware of it now, and hopefully that'll increase the speed at which it's fixed.
Yes, absolutely. And exploits are different. You know, if it's in the game and anyone can do it without installing it, I'm not as harsh about that as I am straight up cheating. Also, again, couldn't find it. Does anyone know if the stupid, you can edit like a text file and get rid of the Bangalore smoke in the game? Is that still a thing you can do?
I don't know. I'm honestly not sure if that's our nubbish understanding of cheating. You know, it's easy to yell, text file, and it makes sense in our heads. I doubt it's that easy.
No, it is.
Yeah?
This is a video. You can go watch it, man.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's been fixed or not. But another thing I looked up when I got back and was researching, I'm like, has this been fixed yet? And I haven't seen anything. So, yeah. Whatever the case is, shall we take in a couple emails?
Let's do that.
So you can write in, be a part of the show at amovetv@gmail.com. That's AMOVETV@gmail.com. Or if you're in the Discord, which you can join by going to bit.ly/amovediscord, just drop a question in the Enter the Apex channel. We pull from there as well. Make sure you tag Kyle and I, because it's guarantees we'll see it. So, anyways, Ross kicks off the questions this week and writes, "Hello, fellow Apex Predators." That would have been a good name for the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, still, it makes me think of Predator, which isn't bad. And when you aim up the triple take, it does look like a Predator.
Yeah,
you know,
but I also feel as disingenuous as to our skill level in this game.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay. Yeah, hang on. Raccoon tier?
Raccoon? Are they... I mean, they can kill a cat, I guess.
Right, like that's that. Yeah, like
but they're
real
sad
not, too.
They're probably not taking out your dog unless you're like me and your dogs are Chihuahuas.
Exactly. They feed on the trash of others left behind. They want to make sure you get the good gun. You know, they'll hiss and scrap in the top part. They're really good in the fist fight.
Now I just feel offended.
I'm talking about myself here. You can be Badger tier. You can go up to Mauling deer tier. I don't know, man. Pick your own animal.
So yeah, Apex, Badger, and Raccoon. That would be our predatory scale.
Let's get the scale going. In the AMove Discord, post your animal, and let's see if we can really even this out. We talked last week about spiders and lions. You know.
Oh God, I like it. I like it. Anyway, Ross says, hello, fellow Apex Predators. You spoke last week about players disconnecting because of the game crashing in the middle of matches. I haven't experienced this much on PS4 yet, but have experienced players leaving on purpose. More and more since the game came out, I see players leaving as soon as they are killed, even when there is a very real chance to respawn. Some people even go as far as leaving as soon as they are knocked down. While some of these may be legitimate disconnects, the fact that it seems to happen as soon as they are killed, but before their timer runs out, is too much of a coincidence. I can only assume they'd rather start a new game right away than wait for a potential respawn and have to gather weapons, etc. again. While I see the logic on this, I don't think it's very fair on your teammates. Also, even if you are even if you go completely out, if you hang around and watch your team, I believe you gain, I think he meant, experience for the time they survive. You do, by the way, that is confirmed. What are their thoughts, or what are your thoughts? Have you seen this happen? P.S. Jokes on that person that quit the other day after going down in a firefight. We easily won. We won that game as a two-man squad.
It happens.
Shots fired literally and figuratively by Ross to random disconnector number 2124. Oh yeah, dude, you are so not alone. This happens everywhere. This is one of the most common complaints I see. I've put your email in here so that, Ross, you could be kind of the poster child for this complaint, because I don't think we haven't talked about it too much. But we get these complaints on Twitter all the time. People talk about it in the Discord. We have multiple emails that come in, and Kyle and myself both go, what a doorknob when this happens. Yeah, it's been happening since day one. When the game first launched, I just chalked it up to, this is what you do in every other battle royale, because there is no respawn. So it's just the whole gameplay loop of a battle royale is go, go, go. If you die, you're out. Leave the game, requeue, try again. But this game having a respawn mechanic is unique, and if you were new to the game in that first week, I just assumed maybe you're unaware of it. Or I could also see a true fueling of impatience because you just want to learn the game. It's like, I don't want to sit there and wait. I don't want to watch. Just want to get guns, shoot, get better, which I can understand to a certain degree. Now, I just think you're a terrible person.
Sure. It's an interesting gameplay discussion in that way. For me, I've been told that I come alive. I've gotten better about this. I actually do enjoy other aspects of the game, but when this game first came out, one of my allies went down. Oh my God, it turned into Prince of Persia. Oh my God, it turned into all the... And I just started booking in. Because, you're down a guy. You might as well give it your all now.
Dude, when
you're having trouble aiming anyway.
When they finally add a character with wall running, this is going to be your jam, isn't it?
Oh, totally, man. I love the movement in this game. And having an ally go down is an excuse to book it and see what you can pull off, sliding down a hill, jumping over that truck, and getting to the point on time and running for the hills again. It's a blast. And maybe that is a bit of a gameplay error. It's perhaps more fun to res a guy than it is to be rezzed. And yeah, I understand the feeling. It is a bummer when you have a really, really good set of items, and sometimes you just go down, you lose it all, the circle pushes in, you're never getting those items back, and now you've got a P2020 because they looted, the one I'm talking about there out by Market. There's the 3 boxes, and your allies loot everything but one P2020 with 6 shots in it, and that's what you get when you land. Maybe there's a white t-shirt because everyone else has purples this late in the game. It's a little sad.
It is, but over the weekend, I got rezzed in the final fight. Never happened to me before. Got a P2020, actually downed an enemy in the final fight.
That's awesome.
That's all I had to work with. And so to that, I say I don't think I want them to make that any easier or better, because sometimes it's enough. We didn't win, by the way. We did end up dying. But it was one of the more exciting... it was one of the more exciting things that have happened to me in this game. I haven't been rezzed in a final fight. And so it was fun to try and make that scrappiness work.
And that's the fun of it, right? They could augment it so that depending on which ring you're being dropped into, you get basic armor, a Mozambique, why not, just to meme it up a little. But you're still supplying a body in that final fight, and tactically, you've got a greater chance of winning. So stick around and enjoy it. I'm just often when I see trolls, cheaters, I wonder, is the game pushing too hard against them that they feel they have to take on these exploits?
What, talking about just leaving the game?
No, just like a perfectly sane one is the rocks we were talking about today. You don't fall as fast as you feel you should with rockets on your back, so we're bumping into walls on purpose so we fall faster.
I disagree entirely. I think it's just if something is objectively better than something else, you're going to do that.
No, that's fair.
It's just, does this give you an edge? Is it well known? Has it been proven to be correct? No reason not to do it until Respawn changes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of my thought there. I don't think it's like the game's too hard. The game is as it's intended. I mean, I don't know. That's such a deeply opinion-based discussion, right?
Totally. It's a philosophy. And I love foreshadowing in movies as well. I feel like oftentimes your brain remembers to go, oh my God, why did I know that person had to shoot? Well, in the early movie, they were shooting targets. Now when, they get in a firefight, they know how to shoot a gun. Your brain goes, oh, I get it. So all those sort of things coalesce into making more sense. In this case, levers penalty, is that a thing?
What do you mean?
Can we make it a thing?
What are you talking about?
His levers. They're leaving before the game's over. Can we put them in a levers queue?
I would certainly like that to be the case. But yeah, I don't know. Apparently, so chat room saying that there was a unintended lever penalty added with the patch. I did not see this. That's why I haven't already talked about it.
Yes.
If you linked it in the Discord, I don't know what Discord it is in because I don't see it in the Answer the Apex channel.
Well, basically, if you left 3 games in a row, you got banned for 5 minutes, is the report here.
Okay, and then it was removed very, very quickly. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Cannot ready up. Your matchmaking has delayed because you abandoned your teammates. Okay, cool. So must have unintentionally gotten pushed, and then they removed it. And rad. Yeah, sure. Let's get that back in the game ASAP.
Okay, awesome. Wow. Can you imagine doing that 3 times in a row? Well, I guess if you're just spamming and that's your lifestyle, huh?
A leave game? Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I left the game last night because our teammate was just standing in the corner doing nothing while we were both dead.
Well, we're right. I've been there too. There is really no chance that this particular group is going to pull it together. They maybe got my beacon, but the other guy's beacons run out.
Yeah.
You could put 2 and 2 together sometimes.
And that's where, while it would stink if there was a lever penalty and you got stuck into that, but I guess if you left 3 games in a row, okay, that still gives you that wiggle room to leave in that scenario. But also, we saw with the patch 1.1 that they're making the report feature just a little more nuanced, having that delineation between I'm reporting for cheating or I'm reporting for another reason. I could see AFK / non-participation becoming a third option just to speed those reports along.
Yeah.
It's something that we have in a lot of other games. So,
egregious repeat abuser of the leave feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Respawn, they're slowly improving the game, so I think this will be addressed. Clearly, they have something in mind since that got intentionally pushed. And thank you, chat room. Thank you, Lance Blizz Gamer, for talking about that in the chat room, letting us know. Brian Brady is next, and Brian says, first off, love Into the Nexus and Enter the Apex, longtime Heroes player. Just a small nitpick, I can only play Apex Legends on my PlayStation 4 because my computer is too old. But I would love to play it with keyboard and mouse on my PS4, but last time I tried, it wasn't supported. Do you think that will change? And if it does, will crossover gaming be viable? P.S. Would love to upgrade and play on my PC. I feel this so hard. Spent most of my teenage life without a PC powerful enough to play really anything. So, yeah, if cross-platform became a thing in Apex Legends, I think that would be the catalyst that would push keyboard and mouse support on consoles to be supported.
Right.
That's really my answer. I mean, it does stink, but I also understand it to a certain degree because I truly believe it gives you a massive leg up.
Yeah, you have to level the playing field, and if friends getting together, and the I don't care button that might be available for crossplay. I just want full games. Who cares? Just throw me in, coach. I'll use a controller. Heck, there's probably people who are like, I don't really like keyboards, but I want to play with my friends, so I've got the Steam controller. In which case, I say, oh man, what the heck is wrong with you? Without a lock-in on a Steam controller, that scroll pad is crazy.
I like it for certain games. I play a lot of my isometric strategy games with the Steam controller. It works really well, but trying to play shooter, I can't do it. No. But then whatever, man, you do you. Like if you like playing this game with a controller, which we hear from players who do, I feel like a lot of us kind of talk of them like lepers, which I think is just unfair. If that's how you like to play the game that way. Because I mean, it's just that I don't think it's necessarily fair to everyone playing in a locked console environment for certain players to be playing with keyboards and certain players not to be. If they wanted to add that without crossplay, I'm with you. I think that there needs to be some type of opt-in of like, just match me with players against keyboards and mice. I don't care. But
if we're talking teenage years, it would still be an issue because I remember I had a Dreamcast and that had a keyboard that you could plug in for Phantasy Star Online, and I never got one because I was a teenager and explaining why I need a keyboard for my console was impossible. Plus, it was absurdly priced, like $50 for a keyboard,
Yeah. Didn't have a Dreamcast. I can't speak to that. I wanted one. That Sonic game was real pretty.
It was real pretty. Phantasy Star Online was, I guess, my first MMO. Probably not, though, right? It's got
It was an MMO.
Quantifiers.
If you call the first Guild Wars an MMO, I would call the first Phantasy Star Online an MMO because they played very similarly in the way that they handled the world.
Right. Your hub world had people wandering around, and then you would group up in order to go into the mission levels.
Yeah, but clearly we're reaching very far back for our console keyboard experiences, which goes to show how out of touch we are with this plate.
Yeah, very true.
So, Zach P. writes in and says, hello. In episode 8, Kyle was discussing his goal was to lower his DPI on his mouse until he can practice arm aiming. He should stick to a comfortable DPI that allows him to have a wide range of adjustment on his in-game sensitivity. Basically, there's no reason to go from 800 down to 400 if 800 is already comfortable for you, because 800 DPI and a sensitivity of 1.5 in-game is exactly the same 360-degree turn as 400 DPI and 3 sensitivity in-game. And he gave an example of Seagull, who uses 1600 DPI, but his in-game sensitivity is 0.7, which is the same as 800 at 1.4 sensitivity or 400 DPI at 2.8 sensitivity. All of these yield the same amount of mouse movement to do a full 360 as the other. He says, you may ask, changing DPI instead of in-game sensitivity still accomplishes the same goal. Why is one better than the other? Basically, adjusting your DPI affects all aspects of using your mouse, not just in Apex Legends. However, if you're rocking a DPI that's ridiculously high, like 6000, then the game simply can't get low enough to compensate. You can turn your sensitivity all the way down to 0.1, and coughing on your mouse can still send your character into a wild 360 spin. So in this case, then you would totally need to lower your DPI. But that sweet spot range for DPI seems to be anywhere between 400 and 1600 because this gives you a range of adjustment in-game. Another tool that will help find what sensitivity is best for anyone out there is to use a sensitivity calculator like the one found at mousesensitivity.net. You can take your sensitivity from a game like Overwatch and enter in your Overwatch sensitivity and your mouse DPI, and it will tell you what sensitivity to use in Apex to make it exactly the same as your Overwatch sensitivity. This is great if you feel like your Overwatch sensitivity fits you perfectly and you need to establish a baseline in Apex Legends. This blew my mind, and this is a super cool tool. Mousesensitivity.net. I already knew about the adjusting the sensitivity to your DPI, but it's not the same in every game. One game sensitivity and the way it multiplies or reduces your mouse's base DPI may be different from the next.
Right, and I am using that Razer Synapse to make those little buttons below your scroll wheel turn into my DPI adjuster. So I am not cruising the internet at 600, which is where I've kind of settled right now. I'm down to 600, and I like it here. I don't think I'm going to go any lower.
So what's your sensitivity? What's your sensitivity in game?
1.
Oh, wow.
So it's flat.
So you're playing super slow.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm playing at 700 DPI, sensitivity 2. Which,
interesting.
Because of this mouse sensitivity tool, which I only know because Zach wrote in, so thank you, Zach. So in Apex Legends, if my DPI is set to 700 and my sensitivity is set to 2, I need to move my mouse just shy of a full foot, using American measurements here, to do a full 360.
Interesting.
Which I really like. I feel very comfortable. It's still having to move my arm, not my wrist. I can't move my wrist a full foot without moving my arm. So this is where I have dialed in. I'm not trying to convince you should do otherwise. You should do what's comfortable for you. But that's interesting.
I mean, it's a hilarious conversation, because when we get into DPI, particularly on something like stream, people are always like, whoa, hang on now. Heavy opinion. But do what's right for you. And I've gotten so many heavy opinions right now that I'm a little overwhelmed by the idea. So I'm actually jumping in game right now to check my sensitivity, because I may have it sitting at something odd.
I think 1 is 1-to-1. I think it makes no adjustment whatsoever.
Yeah. I thought as much, but it's a fascinating barrier to breach, because as my first computer shooter since, ever really, I just never have had these conversations. So, okay. So yeah. So here's where I was confused. My ADS mouse sensitivity multiplier is 1. I don't want to be moving any different when I aim down sights.
Okay. Yeah, same. I hate it. I can't stand that. Obviously, to each their own. So what's your just regular sensitivity set to?
2.2.
Okay. All right. So we're pretty much in the same ballpark.
Right. So 600, but 2.2.
So if you're at, I have the calculator up right now. End of the show. Getting number crunchy. Sensitivity is 2.2, and you're at a DPI of 700?
600.
600. So you have to move just over a foot to perform a full 360. So
okay,
you're slightly lower than me. So you have to move your arm a little bit more than me. But yeah, cool. So we're in the ballpark. We've kind of established, and that's what I'm kind of talking about. Is that like I don't think there's any one perfect sensitivity DPI setting for anyone. You kind of need to figure it out. But there's definitely like opinions on what is far too much.
Right. So I understand what Zach's saying now, and I understand what everybody's been trying to say to me, which is why I didn't get why they were being so specific. But it's kind of like StarCraft or any sort of ranked mode, and you're like, well, rank are you? Well, I'm plat. Oh, but what's your server? I'm like, what the hell does it mean, what's my server? Well, it matters, because that's the quality of the player base. If you're plat on the Korean server, well, guess what? You're amazing here, maybe on the NA server. And that's basically what's happening here, is I didn't understand that the sensitivity that I had set so long ago was affecting my perspective of what DPI is.
Right. So, all very interesting things. Thank you, Zach, because we hadn't had a discussion about how sensitivity affects the mouse, and mostly because I wasn't sure if it was set to 2, does that 2 times your DPI, and the calculator does not answer that question for me, but it does at least give me a distance for 360, which is a unit of measurement I can wrap my head around.
Oh, it's good for planning out desk space if I wanted to, tape it off.
Actually, yeah, you're right. And I have I have more than a foot to work with, but I also, like, one of my monitors kind of encroaches on my mouse mat a little bit, so I have probably about a foot and a half of, like, pure open space, and then if I'm conscious of where my monitor is, I can move, but whatever.
I should set sound effects. I do feel, we're all nerds here, so let me just say I feel like a badass about something not badass at all. I turn my mouse when I play, so my mouse is hamburger style. No, that's when you fold things in half. It's long ways when I'm playing MOBAs, but I turn it sideways, horizontal when I play shooters.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so because I don't need a lot of up in this game, so I turn my mouse from my mouse pad from vertical to horizontal.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were talking about your mouse. I was like, why are you holding your mouse sideways, you crazy person?
No, like a gangster mouse.
Okay, yes. You just said mouse. You didn't mention your mat.
Yes, my
okay.
pad, my sweet pad.
Your mouse mat. Okay. Totally.
Are we calling it mats now? How far behind am I?
I totally. Well, if it's small, I still call it a pad. If you're
portrait versus landscape. Thank you, Echoes.
Okay. Thank God, man. I thought you were talking about your mouse. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I probably cockeye my mouse a little bit when I play, but all right, never mind. Totally follow. Makes complete sense.
All right, what's your mouse sensitivity aim down sights multiplier for you?
It's 1-to-1. I don't want any multiplier.
Cool.
It drives me completely crazy. My personal opinion. If it works for you, cool.
I did set it lower to punish myself a couple weeks ago because I was aiming down sights too much.
Interesting. I mean, whatever works for you, man.
Since got rid of that handicap.
It's not something I would want to do because I would rather just get used to the way I would like it to behave all the time. But
yeah,
if it forced you to ADS less, then cool.
It worked.
I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear, dude. But awesome. Keep the emails coming, everyone. Again, amovetv@gmail.com is the place to send that, or join the Amove Discord by going to bit.ly/amovediscord. And you can drop questions into the Enter the Apex chat room in there. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. But before we go, you should know that Kyle and I have another podcast we do together called Into the Nexus, which is all about Heroes of the Storm. It's a fun MOBA. And it's not dying. People keep saying it's dead. It's not. People keep playing this game. So go listen to that. But other than that, Kyle, where can everybody find you?
Good games never die. YouTube.com/Kyle Ferguson is where you can find that fine video of the documented aimbot. If you've never seen one yourself, you can find it over there. But also twitch.tv/Kyle Ferguson, where we play Apex in the afternoons on Mondays.
Go check it out. We'll be doing that today, as a matter of fact. I am Garrett Art on Twitter. All of the podcasts I do, including this one, are over at amove.tv. It is amove.tv. I'll blow someone's mind, I guess. The first podcast we ever did together was called StarCraft, and in RTSs there is a way to move your units called attack moving, which you use the A key to move so that they just automatically start attacking things. So we named our channel A-Move
which they desperately need to put in Total War games already.
You're right, they don't have that.
No, and then your army just farts off standing there when it's done fighting the thing that it's fighting. Right?
I love Total War, but it's been a while since I played one. You're right.
Yeah, modernize.
I just play Civ now. But yeah, that's why it's called A-Move. Go there, see all the other podcasts. We've got ourselves a Hearthstone expansion firing up this week, so go subscribe to The Angry Chicken, the podcast all about Hearthstone. And I'm on there with Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Carney. New last name.
Yeah.
New last name.
Congrats.
Yeah. But Rise of Shadows coming out tomorrow. So lots of Hearthstone goodness to be had. Get it wherever podcasts can be found. That's going to wrap it up for this podcast. Follow me on Twitter @GarrettArt. We'll see you next week for episode 10. Yeah, episode 10 of Enter the Apex. But until then, good luck and have fun, everybody. Don't leave your games.
Take care. Don't leave your games.